Hello fams, welcome to Liv Miller Design Hub YouTube channel. Please, if you're new on this channel, do well to subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. Thank you for always coming around. God bless you. Today we are going to be drafting an off-shoulder bustier. So it's very simple, easy, straight. We are going to draft it on our pattern paper, transfer it to our fabric and sew it. I'm going to give you a detailed step-to-step tutorial on how it's done. So let's get started, guys. So we are starting with drafting it on our pattern paper like this. I'm going to be offing it with 4 inches. You can actually off with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even 9, depending on how deep you want it to be, okay? So there I offed with 4 inches. From there, I placed my bust point of 11 inches on the bust of 14, half length of 17. I'll do same thing here, offing with 4 inches, make a point at 11, 14, 17, then connect with my rule as shown. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn on your notification button. So let's label it. This is BP bust points on the busts, UB HL for half length. So this is what we'll have now, okay? So the next we are going to be placing is our bust span divided by 2. My bust span is, I'm working with 4 inches plus half inch sewing allowance, that's 4.5, and the under bust I'll minus half and place 3.5. Half length I minus another half and place 3 inches. Can you see what I did? So before I connect it, let me come to the shoulder line. Remember, at my bust point I have 4 inches, so I'm going to add 1 to it, 5, and place it on the shoulder line. So there is 5 inches. Then the next I'm going to do is to connect all the points, all the 4 points this way using my straight rule. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create our cup. At the half length and the under bust, I'm going in there by 2 inches, 2 inches. Then on the bust point, I'm going up by half inch or 1 inch both. Then I'll connect this way. That 2 inches on the under bust and half length, I'm connecting this way. Then get my curve rule. Can you see? From the under bust, I'll connect to that 1 inch I came down with at the bust point. Watch what I'm going to do closely. Can you see? Yes. So the next I'm going to do at the shoulder parts, I will go out this way again by 2 inches. Then use my curve rule and connect it back to that 1 inch I came up with at the bust point. Watch what I'm doing. Just this way. Okay, so this is what I have now. Let me label the points. Please, at this point, make sure you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and hope you're subscribed. Subscription is free. So sorry, what I did there was 2.5, not 2 inches. Let me label it 3.5 that side, 4 inches over here. Okay, that is what I took. Yeah, if you're having difficulty on how many inches you are to go in by to create your cup, do well to tell me on the comment section and I will drop a tutorial on how it can be calculated. The 2.5 is not a constant, it depends on your bust size. So let's continue. So the next thing I'm placing is my chest line, which can equally be called your armhole line. Do you know how to get that? Or should we do a tutorial on this, on how to calculate the chest line or the armhole line? So this is it. I'm going to extend it this way. Label it SH, which is your chest line. Can equally call it armhole line. Yeah, if you want a tutorial on that, do well to let me know in the comment section. So now we are going to be placing our shoulder. Okay, I'm working with a shoulder of 7.5. That is it. I'll measure what I took out from the dart 2 inches and replace it. Then I'm adding half inches. I'm going to be joining the sleeve width. Please don't make a mistake on that. Always remember to replace your darts. Then on the chest line, I'm going to place my bust circumference divided by 4. That is it. Plus 2 inches seam allowance. Look at this small thing I took out there. I'm going to measure it. That is half of an inch. I will replace it. Okay, so that is it. Then I'll connect it. I'll now connect the 2 points from the shoulder to the chest line this way. So this is it. So I'll measure what I have in the chest line and place it directly in the underbust this way, and I'll make a mark there. Okay, so the next I'm going to do is my underbust circumference divided by 4. Then I'll measure the dart 2.5 that I took out there. I'll replace it this way. Then add my seam allowance 2 inches. I'm working with 2 inches seam allowance. It could be less or more. At the half length, I'm placing my waist circumference divided by 4. I'll measure what I took out in the dart 2.5 and I'll replace it this way. Then I'm adding my 2 inches seam allowance. Remember, I told you the seam allowance is not constant. So I'm going to connect all of the points now. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm connecting all of the points starting from the chest line down to the half length. Make sure your rule pass through all of it, and this is what we'll have. We are almost done with the front block, so let's work on the neckline. Yes, at this point I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Remember, we already offed by 4, so plus 2, that means it's lower by 6 inches at the neckline area. You could go lower than 2 inches or more. You could create any kind of neckline you want at this point. Me, I want to work with a sweetheart, just a little deep sweetheart neckline. So I went down by 2 inches and I'll connect it this way to that first dart line we'll have there. Okay, so this is it. We are going to start cutting. So guys, please, if you're still watching to this point, remember, subscription is 100% free. Please support a sister, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell. Now with the front panel, let's work on the back panel. Yes, so just to have a straight line, I'm going to rule this first line this way. I'm using the same pattern paper, the remaining one from that one I used to draft the front. So from that line now, I'm going to place 2 inches. This my rule is exactly 2 inches, so no need to measure it. I'm ruling it this way. So this is going to be my zipper allowance. Don't be confused. The other part is not part of the drafting. In fact, let me cut it out to avoid confusion. Please note that the 2 inches I placed for my zipper allowance is not a constant. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1.5. So let's continue. Let's place our horizontal measurements. Remember, we offed the front by 4, so we are offing the back by 4. Bust point of 11, on the bust 14, half length of 17, just the way we placed it in the front. Don't forget there is no difference. Off by 4, the same figure you used to off the front is what you should use to off the back. Okay, so we are connecting this way. I believe you've subscribed to the channel. Please, as much as I'm seeing views, I equally want to see a thumbs up. Please, please, please. It's very important and it will cost you nothing. Instead, it will encourage me to keep dropping interesting tutorial. We are going to be placing our chest line now. Remember the way we did it in the front. Normally this the armhole I would have worked with is 8. Because I've offed with 4, I'm going to make a point at 4. So when I add this 4 to the 4 I offed it with, it will be 8 inches for the armhole line or chest line. So I'm labeling it chest line, bust point, other bust, half length. Yes. Next we are placing is bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. Same for the half length, waist by 4, under bust by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. Then I'll connect all the points. See the way it's looking funny, don't worry. And the under bust, go out by 1 inches and connect all the points. Then at the half length, place where you want your dart to start. That is 4 inches. Can you see that? Excuse me. I'm going to make a roll straight. Just roll it straight. So this is what we'll have. Extend it towards the shoulder this way. Then at the half length, I'm going in and out by 3/4 of an inch. I'll replace it at this point. Can you see? I'm replacing it at this point. I'll use my rule and connect it to at least 1 or 1.5 inches after the bust point. Watch what I'm doing. I'm creating a waist dart. Remember that 1 inch I replaced at the under bust? Watch how the dart passed. At that under bust, I have 1 inch that has gone out. That's why I replaced it prior to now. Okay, so see what I'm gonna do now. Connect it from the under bust, make a curve to the half length. So this part is no longer part of it. This is the line we are going to work with. Let me blend it out properly. Can you see the shape is now better? Let's work on the neckline now. Okay, before we do that, let's place our shoulder. Remember what we did in the front? We are working with a shoulder of 7.5. So this is 7.5. I'm going to place half an inch for the joining. I'm going to just do what I did it in the front, then I'll connect it straight from there to the chest line. Very simple, easy. Okay, just the way we did it in the front. So we are going to work at this part of the back. Remember, the back half length is always shorter. So I'm going to go up there by 1 inch. You can go up by 1.5 or 2 inches depending. Check out my tutorial on where I measured. I thought about how to take accurate body measurements. The video is directly before this very tutorial. Yes, before this very tutorial. I told us why your half length has to be shorter at the back. So check out that tutorial. Okay, so this is what we'll have now. You'll be wondering what I did at the other part. I went up by half an inch. I like doing it that way to avoid puffiness. Yeah, so let me blend all of the lines. So this is what we'll have now for the back panel. Okay, this is it. So this part will be cut out. This part you are seeing now will be cut out. This part equally, I'm going to be cutting them out. So this is it. Remember this half inch I went up with here. I've not trimmed it out in the front. So I'm going to place half an inch at this part of the front. See, I want you to watch this video to the end and see the sewing parts so that you understand why it is necessary to remove half an inch from this side of your bodies, both the front and the back. So I trimmed off the front. Can you see? If you measure it now, it's going to rhyme. So let's continue with the cutting of the back. Please do give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing, turning on the notification button as I drop tutorials back to back. So now let's work on the back effects, the zipper part effect. Very, very important. So watch closely what I'm going to be doing now. At this part, I'll go in here by half of an inch. Just pay attention. This is vital in any outfit you're making that has a zipper. Connect it this way. Can you see? Then I'm going to cut it off. At the end of this video, you're going to see the importance. Make sure you watch to the end. And I believe you've given it a thumbs up and you've subscribed. So now let's talk about the neckline here. You can actually leave the back neckline to be this way. You can decide to come down. You can do anything. It depends on the style you're working with. I can say, let me go down by 1 inch. Anything is a choice at this point. I could equally say, let me leave it straight just the way it is. Okay, so I actually went down by 1 inch. You could go deeper. Yes, you could go deeper than even that so you went down with in the front. Is a choice. Okay, so we are going to cut it out here this way. So at this point, we are done with the back. This is it. Let me label all of it. This is the front, the two sides of the front. So it's time to cut it out on our panel, on our, sorry, fabric. This is the African print I'm working with. I'm going to cut it out on the fabric and the linings. Remember, I added all of the allowances on the pattern paper, so I'm not going to be adding anything again on any of those any part of it in this fabric. Okay, I'm not adding any other allowance, so I'm going to cut it out exactly as seen, and each part is going to have two. Each part will come in twos. The front side, that's the side front, will be two. The front will be one, then the back will be two. I'll cut it out now on this African print, cut it out on the lining, and we'll continue with the process. For accuracy, you can actually secure it with your office pin, any kind of pin you have available at your disposal. If you don't have a pin, you can equally use a masking tape. You're going to see me use a masking tape too, but for this part, I'm securing it with my office. Remember, subscription is free. Please do well to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, share with your friends. Please share to other social media platform, your WhatsApp status, anywhere. So when you're done cutting, this is what we'll have. We're going to make a notch at the bust point, the chest line. Of course, with the shape it has, the underpose is already significant, so these are the notch. After that, you remove all the pins. So now this is the center front. We are going to secure it like I told us. Okay, let's use our masking tape instead. This part facing me is folded while the other part is open. So let's cut it out together. Remember, I said I'm not adding any other allowance. Every allowance has been added during the drafting. So we are done cutting it out. This is what we'll have. After cutting, the next thing you're going to do is to realign it and make the same notches you made on the side panel. You arrange it properly, then make a notch at the underbust, the bust point, and the chest line. This is the underbust. I'll align it, make a notch at the chest. That's the bust point, and the third point, of course, being the chest line. Yeah, I'll make a notch this way exactly. So remember, I told you the middle is folded. Can you see what we'll have? A sweetheart neckline, but not too deep. So these are the side panels. Okay, remember the notches. Can you see my notches are aligning? That's the essence of the notch. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, and I'm securing this time. Remember, I told you can secure with a pin, a masking tape. I'm trying to tell you can equally place some objects on top of it. Just make sure your material is not moving, but the most accurate is either securing with a pin or your masking tape. Then I'll cut exactly as it is on the pattern paper. Just watch me. When we are done with this, we are done with cutting off both the front and the back panels, and the next I bring for you is drafting of the parts, the necessary parts and wording needed for this outfit. So the first part we are going to be drafting out is going to be the side fronts. Okay, so this is it, the side front. Watch everything on how I'm gonna do it. You see the parts I'm placing on my wording. It could be a maximum of 7 inches if the person is not too busty, like a bust of 38, 40, 41 to 42 can use a height of 7 inches like this one I'm doing now. Then you cut out following the shape of your cup. It's going to end directly at the under busts. Wow. So this is what we have. This is what we have. Can you see? This one actually ended. That 7 inches led us to that our chest line. So you make a mark at the bust point. make a mark at the bust point. Can you see the dots I made there? Then from the bust point, you are going to go in there by, it could be 5.5. Remember the tutorial I dropped earlier on how to cut a shoulder dart bustier? I showed you how you can measure how deep your warden can go from the bust point. So for this one, we are working with 5.5. Went in with 5.5, then I will shape it out as shown. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see? This is how it's going to be placed. Okay, I actually cut out one, so I'm going to use this one. I'm managing my warden. Yes, I'm managing my parts, so I'm going to use this one to cut out the second part. And when you're placing it, make sure it's good side facing good sides. That's the sugar size. Can you see that side? That is side that has a kind of mirror face. That's the side that can stick, that has that gummy effect that enables it stick to your fabric. Make sure it is facing each other. If not, after cutting, you're going to discover you've made a mistake of cutting maybe just the right bust into two places. You know, this is supposed to be for the right and the left breasts. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. There will be no difference between these two parts we are cutting out now. Exactly same way, same size, everything. Yes. So this is it. And when we are done, that point where I made a notch, sorry, where I placed the mark, that's the bust point. Can you see it? I'll place it and align it. I made the points on the two of them. Now I will hold it. Watch what I'm going to do. The idea is just to make a notch to enable you know where the bust point is. Yes, that's the bust point. You make a notch for the second one at the bust point. Yeah, so this is what we have now. The side panels are ready. So these are the side panels, both the parts and the two side panels. So let me set it aside. Let me set it aside and bring the middle fronts. We are going to be drafting for the middle point. So and you see what I did? I folded the wording into two because the middle is folded into two. Then I'll place it. Remember what I told us, from the underbust to that chest line, the third notch I made is 7 inches. So the wording is just going to start from the first notch, that's the underbust, and end at the third notch on the chest line. You arrange it properly as I'm doing. Please do well to give the video a thumbs up and leave your comments. Thank you. So this is what we'll have now for the middle panel. Can you see? This is what we can shape it out either there or the underbust. It depends on you. If you leave it straight like that, it's not a problem, but I want to shape it out a bit as shown. So after cutting it out, I'm going to cut the wordings exactly same way for the lining. Exactly same way for the lining. Then take it to my ironing table, gum it to the fabrics, gum it equally to the lining, bring it back to show you what it looks like. So this is it. I've gummed everything, I've ironed everything out. So what I told us, see it on the lining, on the main fabric, the African print, the middle parts, the second side parts, the middle lining. The back has no gumming. I only joined the darts, can you see, for both the fabric and the lining, and ironed it out. I ironed it out properly. So what we are going to do now is to join the side panel of the front. See what I'm doing? Place the middle this way, then get the matching side, good side facing each other, and I'm going to join it with 1/2 inch. Remember, I will left 1/2 inch for the joining allowance. I equally do the same for the second part. Then iron it out, show us. Okay, I'll take us to the ironing table. So I'm done joining it now, and we are on our ironing table to see what it looks like. Can you see? So I joined the side panel to the middle front. This is what we'll have. The first you're going to do is to carefully make a notch on the curved area, starting from the underbust, so that it can relax properly. Can you see I sewed with half an inch? I'll make a notch all through this way for this side, then the other side. Please do well to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. I've gone ahead to notch that. I'm equally notching the lining part. So we are done, and now I'm going to iron it out using my tailor's hem. I actually made this tailor's hem myself. I made it, I prepared it myself. And if you're interested, you want to learn how I made it, fine. Just say it on the comment section and I'll prepare a video on that. So we are going to iron it. I've done ironing the wrong side. I'm ironing the good side now. Can you see? I placed a piece of paper on top of it. Then I'm ironing it out this way. Iron it out properly. The outcome of the bustier is going to has how your ironing ability has a lot to do with the result at this stage. Okay, it has a lot to do with it. Can you see how I'm holding it down? Make sure there is no form of pointiness. Use your pressing iron to give it a very nice curvy shape. So this is hoo la, man. The bustier is kicking. Like, can you see? It came out perfectly well. Oh my god. This is so nice, so interesting. Just make sure you follow the same procedure. You're going to get this kind of result. Just keep watching. Remember the points I told us. Watch to the end so you see why I did it this way and why you have to do it the same way. Just try it using same processes. Just follow me. We are going to continue sewing till the end. Can you see? So neat, so perfect. Everything is aligning. Okay, everything is aligning. The lining has equally been done this way too. The lining has been done this way too. So now we are here to finish up the sewing parts. See, do you see what I did now? Excuse me. Good side facing each other for the lining and the main fabric, and I'm going to sew it straight on the neckline. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to sew it straight on the neckline, then get the back panel, the good side of the lining and the good side of the material facing each other. I will sew it on all these points: the shoulder parts, the side, the zipper side parts, and the other parts. So that's how I'm going to do it for all of the sides. Equally this one, I'm going to align the good side of the lining to the good side of the fabric. Then I will sew on the shoulder. Don't worry, my fan is disturbing me. Sew here, sew this way and this way. Okay, so that's what we are going to do now and get back to you. Okay, so we are here now on our ironing table. I've sewn it just the way I told us. Watch what I did. For the front bodies, see what I did here. I sewed this sides. I left the sleeve part open. Sewed the shoulder. Left the sleeve parts open. Can you see? Then sew this part. So what we have made a notch equally. I notched all the points, the neckline points. Then we are going to turn it out this way. We are going to turn it out. Can you see what we are having now? I'm turning it out this way. I'm equally going to do the same thing for I've sewed here, sewed this part, sewed the shoulder, and left the sleeve parts open, notch and turn over. So I'm going to iron all of the parts, and when I'm doing ironing it, I'm going to join each part to the down parts of this outfit and show us. So now, I joined the front upper body to the down upper body. It's actually having a penciled down. I have a video on this tutorial on how to make this down part. Check it. I tagged it how to make a pencil skirt, beginners friendly. So do you see what I'm doing? On my machine, I'm going to place it this way now. Place the other way too. Then I'll be joining the two sides. Remember, we left 2 inches for the sewing allowance. We've used half an inch for joining the lining. We are left with 1.5. So I'm going to join the two sides with 1.5. Can you see? and it's going to have a slit. So we are done, and this is the baby girl. The baby girl is looking so pretty, so lovely, so tantalizing. Thank you for watching with me to this point. God bless you, my beloved. Stay tuned, subscribe, turn on the notification button as I keep dropping videos back to back. God bless you. Love you. Bye.